All right, everybody. Welcome back to the 24/7 Sports Channel. I am your host today, Adam Finkelstein, and we have yet another big commitment for you here today. It has been a big few months here as we have delivered countless commitments of the very best basketball and football prospects in the country. And today we have yet another one on tap as Bishop Walsh and Team Thrill four-star guard Mike Williams is set to announce his final decision. He had narrowed his list down to 6 schools following the summer. And we should also mention it was a championship summer as he helped Team Thrill to the Under Armour Association Championship. Get a look at his finalists right there. He is considering Clemson, DePaul, LSU, Syracuse, VCU, and Wake Forest. He took visits to all 6 schools this fall. VCU, the local school, was unofficial because of the 5 official rule per the NCAA, but that allowed him to visit all 6 campuses this fall. Before we get to Mike and his family, I'm first going to bring in Eric Bossi, the National Director of Basketball, to talk about what is at stake here with Mike Williams. Eric, welcome to the show. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great, Adam. Excited to be here. Really excited to see what Mike's got for us with his decision, because I'm sure.
Now, I know my affinity for Mike is well documented at this point, but tell me, what do you like about his game?
It's a lot of the same things that you did. You know, he's the guy that I first became familiar with during his junior season. Really liked the way he could get into the paint, get to his pull-up jump shot. He was a dog on defense, really hounded guys. But in the summer, you really saw the evolution of his jump shot. He became a much more dangerous shooter from deep. And I see that becoming a more and more of a weapon on the next level. I also like his development as a playmaker for others. When I first saw him, I thought he was maybe more of a 2, but as he's gone by, I really see him playing a lot more as a combo and eventually as a point on the next level.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I know I tweeted earlier today just about some of his shooting percentages, went from 22% to 37% from 3. It was a similar story to your point, his assist to turnover ratio. He was below. He had a negative assist to turnover ratio last year in the NIBC season, and it almost doubled this year, went up to a positive ratio. So we've really seen the progression of his overall skills. And then you know, before we get to Mike, you have been doing this longer than anybody in the field, and I think it's such a rare but very cool thing when you see a kid who has been established really early on, who keeps adding new elements to his game. He's not on Twitter, being like, hey, you're sleeping on me or anything. He's like, you know what? I'm going to get better as a shooter. You know what? I'm going to get more reliable as a ball handler. Can you talk a little bit about, how rare that is in your experience?
It's certainly becoming more rare just because of social media and how much pressure is on these guys and the magnifying glass that they're playing under. But I've really found that guys like Mike would just go along and do their thing and haven't been like highly touted or had their tails kissed for the longest time, tend to be much better college players because he's got that, the proverbial chip on his shoulder. He's got that grind and he's got that hustle in him. And you can see it. The hard work's paying off. Like, that's a really impressive list of schools that he's going to be choosing from today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You're spot on. We're going to be back with you in a couple of minutes. We're going to hear from Mike firsthand exactly where he's going. Then you and I will break it down in a minute. So hold tight. We'll be right back with you. And appreciate you joining us. So now we're going to bring in the man himself, as we said, 4-star guard, Mike Williams, Bishop Walsh High School, Team Thrill Under Armour Association. Mike, what's going on, man?
Not much. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. How you feeling?
Great as well.
Yeah. Okay, good. Introduce us to who you have with you here today.
I have my aunt Taisha, my mom Candace, my aunt Taisha. This is my dad on this side, my brother behind me, my Uncle Woody on this side, my other brother, and my other brother's in the back right here.
Very cool. Very cool. Mike, we just got finished talking about how much we've seen your game improve in the last couple of years, and specifically the jump you took this year with regard to your shooting, with regard to your playmaking, your ball handling, your ball security is kind of the term that's prevalent in the scouting world. I'm just curious, what went into that behind the scenes for you to make that jump that we all saw this summer?
Really just a lot of work, locking in with the coaches up there at Bishop Walsh definitely helped me change my jump shot a lot, working on my ball handling every day. Just being in the gym a lot. That's what being consistent helped me a lot.
And the other thing I want to ask you about is at an early age, you had a pretty big reputation. Everybody knew who Mike Williams was. A lot of kids with the early reps, not only do they sometimes not work as hard as you did, but they also don't put enough of an emphasis on the defensive end of the floor. And you did that at a very early age. So talk to me about kind of that mindset to come out and say, you know what, I'm going to really prove myself on defense first at an age where that wasn't necessarily what was going to, get you the recognition, but you did it anyway.
I was always taught that defense wins championships. So me playing defense was going to help me win the championship. So I was willing to do whatever it took to win that. And a lot of guys don't have the pride to play defense. Defense is more of a pride thing. And I have a lot of pride. So I try to stop the man in front of me as much as I can.
Yeah, well, you certainly did that. All right. Now let's talk about the recruiting process. You had a big summer, mentioned it earlier, but you were one of the key players on Team Thrill. Team Thrill won the Under Armour Association Championship this summer, and you saw your recruiting continue to escalate. Did things get busier for you as the summer went along and everybody started to notice the progression in your game?
Yeah, things got very busy. Like it was like every day, morning through night, like every single day, every day, all day. It was just I try not to let that overwhelm me. I try to just embrace it and stay positive.
And you know what? It's funny. You mentioned something which I think a lot of kids don't realize. Like everybody wants to be heavily recruited, but they don't understand like how taxing it can be. I mean, in the midst of your recruiting, like how many phone calls and texts and DMs were you getting? Just guess on the course of a daily basis.
25 maybe daily.
Wow.
Easy.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's and everybody just wants you to come to their school. So now you cut it down to 6 finalists. Before we hear where you're going to school, there's another look at it. You got Clemson, you got DePaul, you got LSU, Syracuse, VCU, and Wake Forest. Now, before you tell us which of those 6, I want to give you a minute just to thank anybody who's helped you along your way first.
Well, first off, I was talking about things. Thank God, like without him, I wouldn't be in this position. Without him giving my talents or anything. Then I like to thank these people around me for pushing me, helping me with everything, staying on top of me, no matter how good I thought I was. They always told me that you're not good. You need to do better, and making me stay in the gym for real. Like I appreciate these guys. Everybody who's ever trained me got me better than anything from me as far as my recruitment. I appreciate everybody, and I appreciate you guys as well for helping me get my name out there early, and you guys just staying on top of it.
Well, Mike, the moment is here. You've got 6 fan bases waiting to get some happy news. Where are you going to be playing your college basketball?
For my college basketball career for the next 2 to 4 years, I would be turning Louisiana State.
Mike, congratulations, man. That's awesome stuff. So, Mike, what was it about LSU that made them your pick? So, Mike, what was it about LSU that made them your pick? They're still celebrating. Mike, you got me?
Yes, sir, I got you.
All right, you gotta wait 2 more minutes, then you can go celebrate. What was it about? What was it about LSU that made them the place?
Hey, quiet down quick. What'd you say?
I said, what was it about LSU that made them your choice?
Really, a big part of my recruitment was the development piece. Like, how would I get better there? Like, where can I see myself getting better? And the plan that they had for me, like, since I left there, the strength coach, the trainers, head coach, no matter what, like, they're sending me things like that relates to my game, how I can get better. Even like if I wasn't coming there, they're still sending me things like, hey, you can do this to get better, or here, study this guy. He kind of relates to your game, man. We can help you. Strength coach told me by the end of the season, man, like I have a 3-month plan for you, and your body will change before you even come here. So when you come here, you are prepared. Things like that stuck out to me. Them guys are all invested into all of the guys. So that's really what made me say yes to LSU.
Nice. And what would you tell LSU? What would you tell LSU they are getting in Mike Williams?
A guy that's willing to work every single day, bringing whatever you need to the table, like just doing whatever it takes to win.
Mike, I tell you what, I have delayed this celebration long enough. You guys go have your fun. Congratulations. Big day for LSU.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate it.
All right. Very cool. Mike Williams, his family and friends, you can see how excited they are. We're going to bring back in Eric Bossi here to talk about why LSU and their fan base should be very excited about this most recent development. So Ibas, I love these commitments. You see how excited they are. You get a sense of like the character of each young man, and he's an impressive young man.
Yeah, I wish I was in Baltimore right now. Actually, a longtime friend, G.A. Sadipo, is actually there on hand, and he's been texting me from behind the scenes, and they're certainly having a good time there in Baltimore, and deservedly so. Always a big moment to commit, and as McMahon's getting his things rolling here at LSU, this is his first guard commit, and he's going to be the guy to kind of set the tone for what type of program they're going to have there. So it's always big when that first guy that's going to be a ball handler commits.
You know what I think is interesting? LSU historically not a big recruiting presence in the DMV region. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but last year came in, they got Tyrell Ward late. And to put this in perspective, McMahon takes the job right after they get 7 level 1 violations. Basically the whole roster is turned over. He's got to rebuild the roster from scratch, and the fan base there has gotten used to winning, and they don't want to go back to square one. They want to continue to have the success on the floor that Will Wade did, but he's got different challenges. He brought in 10 players last spring. The highest ranked one was Tyrell Ward from DeMatha Catholic, a DMV product. Now he gets Mike Williams. Are these things connected? Does this speak to a new kind of recruiting pipeline, at least from a geographic standpoint? I just think it's impressive to see LSU get into that DMV region, which is always so talent rich.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it's the makings of a pipeline, at least. And there's so much talent in the DMV that it's a place that, a lot of people can come in and eat. It's going to be interesting because Maryland and Georgetown have been struggling for a little while in the area, but they seem to maybe be getting things back going in the area too. But to see someone like LSU come in and get 2 such high-profile guys basically within 6 months of each other certainly isn't what we would have expected. It's not like they have, a staff full of DMV plug guys. They just are tireless workers, and I think you can hear it with Mike. They really punch the right buttons on some of the little things with player development, stuff like that. Like everyone talks player development, but these kids want to see it. And also, Matt McMahon's coming from a place. He's got like the number one example of player development going on right now with John Morant, and that stuff sells. And you can see why they're able to come and connect with kids, not just in the DMV, but maybe anywhere around the country.
Yeah. Obviously a very big weekend for LSU athletics. Before I let you leave, what Mike's versatility, plays both ends of the floor. We go through LSU's roster, potential that they bring back a lot of those players that McMahon, his staff brought in last spring. How does Mike potentially fit a roster? How does his versatility help a coach as he builds out his rotation?
It helps a lot because now you have a guy that he can play at the 1, he can play at the 2. If you want to play 3 guards, he can play all over for you because of his toughness. And I also think it's great for him. Say a Miller comes back or one of the guards comes back. I always think it's great for a guard, no matter how talented they are, to be able to come in and learn from some guys who are a little bit older than them and not have the pressure to be that sole guy doing things. But you can use him as a guy to get to the rim and put pressure on guys. You can make him a defensive stopper. He's developing as that jump shooter. There's just so many ways that you can use him, and it's got a chance to be like the best of both worlds for him developmentally, and for Matt McMahon and his staff for developing their program and using him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think, you see these highlights here, and what you're seeing is a guard who, in my mind, is a two-way weapon now. He defends. We talked about that. You heard him talk about it. He has played on and off the ball, as you have mentioned. And now with the 3-point shooting, he's always been a guy who could get downhill. He's always been a guy who could elevate in the mid-range area. Now he's a true 3-range threat. So, and I respect the fact that he chose a program that's got other guards there. So to your point, he said, you know what, I'll come in and compete with these guys. I'll come in and learn from these guys. I think that's another kind of testament to his character. So I think there's a lot of things for LSU to be very excited about here this weekend, both on the football field and on the basketball court. A very good weekend. Keep it locked right here to 24/7 Sports, because this is going to be a very big week as we go into the signing week period. We're going to have a number of commitments continuing to come to you, lots of video coverage and analysis throughout the course of the week. You are on the 24/7 Sports channel. If you were enjoying the content you were seeing, please make sure to like and subscribe. For more analysis, be sure to visit 247sports.com. We will see you again tomorrow with another breaking commitment.